Hi and welcome back to Padel Metrics. My name is Yanis. I'm a professional performance analyst and today we're analyzing the best rally of 2025. There's no other than Chingotto, who's actually won the Italian major back-to-back after losing 9 times to Tapia and Coello in 2 straight sets. And what a spectacle was it in that arena in Rome. Massive crowds going crazy, shouting Chingo, Chingo.
The save by Galán, and now the Chingo, Chingo.
After this incredible point that we're going to analyze today with the help of Dartfish. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe, guys, because 90% of the people that are watching the video are not subscribed. So subscribe, like, so you don't miss the next video that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And let's jump straight into the reaction of the crowd after Chingotto goes out of the court and plays it to the net. So let's go and watch that. And we're going to go straight into Dartfish to analyze what happened and how did Chingotto and Galán break down Tapia and Coello to win again after 343 days and Chingotto only having 3 unforced errors. What a dream day for Galán and Chingotto. And without further ado, let's jump onto the video and analyze it. Now, if you are also an analyst or you want to use Dartfish because you are so keen to improve your performance, or you want to create videos like this and analyze high performance at the highest level, make sure you go and check out Dartfish.com. And if you buy the software and you use Padel Metrics as the code, you do get a 10% discount and you will be helping me as well, which is a bonus. Okay, here we are in the analysis part. This is Dartfish software. We're going to start opening the edit where we're going to be analyzing frame by frame this ridiculous point that happened at the Italian majors. And we're going to see why Chingotto and Tapia also, first of all, won the point. But we're also going to talk about the tactics that they had that worked so well today. They managed to beat Tapia and Coello in the same major in Italy, 343 days apart. So it's absolutely amazing point. And we're going to start with the serve. So first of all, we're going to see where the position of the serve was. I'm going to clear it in half speed. And we're going to see that Coello aims for the glass, low and deep. You can see how low Chingotto is at this moment of time to return the ball. Obviously, if you saw my previous video of analyzing my game, we talked about keeping the ball low or having options such as going flat down the line strong or doing a sort of chiquita down the middle, or the other option was a lob. But in this case, the ball is so deep and so fast where we're going to see that Chingo or Chingotto plays the ball in the middle. Now, it's not quite low enough to be a chiquita, and that is because of the force of the serve. They didn't manage to create an easy ball that will be below the net, so then we could potentially see a counter attack by Galán and Chingotto. We didn't see that, obviously, but we saw a great return. And the reason it is a great return is because it neutralizes the gameplay. It gives Coello a opportunity to create some pressure, but not pressure enough to have a winner. And that is the most important thing on your returns. Get the ball in and get it in a place where they can't make a winner, so you can have a chance to regain the net or create a counter attack. Now, next stage, I want to talk to you about zoning. If you had any sort of coaching, big shout out to Jorge and Analyse. We talk about zonings and what you can, it makes it easier for you to understand what you should be doing in Padel. And it's the same thing that happens at the pro level. First, we're going to talk about the red zone. Red zone is pretty much behind the line of the serve. And as you can see, that is the area where Chingotto and Galán are currently situated because they're receiving serve. And they had the first ball returned into the middle, and Coello is actually in what we call a green zone. The green zone starts from the net and goes roughly to where this pole is, this first pole, and it's the area where you're normally going to look to finish points, create pressure, and you're dominating that area of the field. So obviously I'm going to copy paste this and show you how that's going to look on the other side. And there we go. Now we have the green zone. Now, in between these two zones, the red zone is pretty much the area where we're trying to neutralize the point or throw a lob in, start looking on how we can regain the net. So these are areas where they're very defensive areas. And in between, we have a zone that we call people call it the dead man zone. I call it the transition zone. Because in this area, at this level, yes, you can have some massive smashes that you can finish the points. But even at this level, you can, if you're stuck in these areas, you create so many angles for the opposition. So it's not the best place to be if you're either moving from the back of the court to the front. You ideally want to be in that yellow-green zone where you can start manipulating the points. You don't want to be getting caught in that dead zone. Now, let's move back. Now we've got our zones in. Let's move back and see what happens in terms of their positions and what they're trying to achieve with this shot. Now, Coello has a few options here. So Coello can actually go down the middle here, or he can place the ball across to Galán's backhand, or the last one is attempt a Chiquita shot down towards the fence. Now, obviously that's very high risk because the ball was coming quite fast, and tactically it doesn't make a lot of sense feeding back the ball to Chingotto, because in this particular game, he has been on fire. He has only 3 unforced errors in the whole game, and he's very, very good at keeping Coello busy and not feeling the threat before in order to push the net. So the better option that they were trying to achieve was finding Galán's backhand. And you'll be like, why would you want to get Galán involved on this day where he's an absolute alien smashing everything? Why would you want to play Galán? Now, it might seem counterintuitive, but there's a lot of thought behind this, because if you play Galán's backhand, he creates less angles to play Coello, which means this guy, on the other hand, Mr. Tapia here, can get more involved into the game. And that's something that wasn't happening. Galán had a lot more overheads, so they were trying to somehow get Tapia involved. And one of these options was to play Galán deep on his backhand to force him to play across the court, which is a more easy shot to do than down the line, especially when you've got Coello breathing onto your neck there on the net. So let's see. The ball goes back to the backhand. And there we go. We've got a strong flat shot back to Tapia. So plan B for Coello is looking good. Now, the second shot, we get another ball to the backhand of Galán. Now, the other thing that coaches talk about is moving your opposition, but also playing the guy that is already being attacked, because he has less time to react and is creating more pressure. Even if it's easy shots, even if it's consistent shots, every ball he has to work for, the more the intensity increases. In amateur level, what you will see is play one ball here and then switch it across to play the other guy. And that will create a lot of time for them to recover and reset. It's the same thing at this level here. So finding another shot to Galán, and it's a deep shot into that red zone as well, which is working really well. As we are seeing the preparation here, Galán has his racket quite high up, which means it's not looking like it's going to lob. So if he's not going to lob, the strategy here is to neutralize the point so Tapia and Coello don't finish the point. So the most likely shot that this is going to go to is to a backhand. So the options for backhands is either down to the line of Tapia here or straight down to Coello. But you don't want to be getting involved Tapia. So most likely this ball is going down towards Coello. And as we can see here, it's a really good shot. Forces Coello to get a little bit of a slice onto the ball, which means the ball is coming with a little bit of a backspin, making the ball slower. Now he is aiming for the middle here to neutralize them and hold the net, which is a good thing, but it has given an opportunity here for Galán to bring the racket a little bit lower and get the lob in. Now, why is the lob important? It's because it gives an opportunity. This is the first opportunity where we can have a shift in the dynamic here. So Galán is aiming for a lob towards Coello for 2 reasons. One, he wasn't having a great day. His overheads, even though it was hitting them, they were getting close to the net and Galán could finish off. So he was a lot under pressure to perform. So they could obviously feed that, especially when you see something not working in your position, you need to feed it until they prove that they've changed, they actually turned it into a weapon. But with Coello, we saw a lot of lobs like these ones where he had to take either defensive shot, and in this case, because the ball is really deep, we are seeing him use a shot, a bandeja shot actually, which we don't see it that often now because everyone is doing vibras. But in this case, we're seeing a bandeja shot, defensive shot, and focusing onto the back man. Something really crucial here, and it just shows the dynamics of this match, especially of how Chingotto played. Chingotto is already in the green zone here after this lob, and this is a brave move because you have Coello on the other side where he can easily smash it onto his body or try and find an angle. But he was playing so confidently and he was really putting the pressure onto Coello, and you can see that here where Chingotto is squeezing in every inch as they're getting an opportunity to push, forcing actually Coello to play onto the back guy towards Galán. The reason here they're playing on the back guy, one is because if you play if you play to Chingotto here, obviously he can block with a volley, and then they're holding them in the green zone. They create the pressure, then they're holding the net. The dynamic changes in the point. But as we can see here, it's pushing back, and now we have the situation where Coello is being able to hit the bandeja, and then he's moved back into the green zone, creating the pressure, and Galán getting another opportunity because of the easy shot, defensive shot, to lob again. Now they're going to be doing this, and in the match they were doing this all the time. They were waiting for that perfect lob, squeeze the pressure towards the net, and see if they can block the overhead so they can hold the net, and then the shift the dynamic. In this case though, in this moment of time, the only thing that's changed is Chingotto pushed the net, and now from a red zone he's gone to the green zone. This is something that these two guys have definitely communicated, because if that lob is going to Tapia, that he is so exposed, Chingotto is so exposed in this area here for options from Tapia. So obviously this has been a conversation that if you are getting into this place, make sure you're lobbing Coello, because I can keep myself in a position to block the shot and we can hold the net. And as we see here, Galán goes for a high, even higher this time, lob to Coello, but for good fortune for Coello, the ball is bouncing high off the glass, which gives him an opportunity to hit now an aggressive shot, which is called a bajada, down to the middle. So that shot will be coming down here, putting pressure onto Galán and Chingotto to regain the net, forcing him to look backwards and retrieve and recover just the ball, and returning quite a low lob, giving the opportunity now for Tapia to smash the net. Same scenario like before. You have the front man now in Galán, and you've got the back guy here for Chingotto. He's already played the return, so this will be the second attempt to defend, and Galán is going to try and smash that ball all the way down here, hit the high glass, and hoping to push the ball out of the court. But as we can see, Chingotto does an amazing maneuver here, able to return the ball, and he squeezes that push all the way with a little chiquita down the line here, back to Tapia. Now, this was quite an interesting moment into this point, because Tapia has the opportunity here to do a couple of things. One, he can lob Galán, because he's almost touching the net in this position here. So there was all this space here for an opportunity to push Galán, but Galán has had an incredible day on blocking and overhead smashes, so potentially was creating a little bit of pressure, and do I dare to say fear to the opposition. When you've got this guy over the net looking at you just a few feet away, I'm sure Tapia would say it's not fear, but you do feel that presence. So the other options is a cross chiquita, which is the highest risk cross shot here, and with the Galán there, that's pretty much a very tricky shot to do. So the only option that he's got here, if he's not lobbing, is to go down back to the guy that is on the back of the court. Why? Because we want to rebalance what has happened in this point so we can regain the green zone, the net. And as we're going to see here, we've got a nice soft ball and again back into the green zone. That's where in the amateur level we get so we try to make so many hard shots, but it's simplicity that works into Padel. And even at this level, you can see most of the shots, even though they are difficult, they are using a lot of easier, if you want, shots to regain positions and so on. But it's more the tactics and where they're placing the ball that is making them the special people that these guys are. Now, in this case, this is where Chingotto shined in this game, and in generally this is his superpower. One is his amazing lobs. He can get the lob right in the back, creating pressure, and also his incredible defense and how quick he is on the court. In this case, we're going to see now Chingotto throwing a massive lob back towards the person that they have had struggling the whole game, and that is no other than Coello. I can't believe I'm saying Coello is struggling with his overhead, because he has one of the biggest overheads as well as a lefty being on the right side. But in this case, he was having an off day. Here we see the pressure back on Coello to perform. And we're seeing he's going for a kick smash. A kick smash is when you hit the ball from high, bounces off the glass and goes outside of the court. So he's attempting to hit the ball there, and from there the ball to go high up and either go out of the court or go so high that Galán or Chingotto can't touch the ball and they can win this point. But as we're going to see, that ball doesn't get a knife lift and Galán just touches the ball in. Unbelievable physicality there to get that ball in, and then we have this magic going on. Tapia with the no-look shot into the area. He obviously knows that Galán is put all the effort to get that ball, and Chingotto is recovering. Now I want us to track something here because it's so impressive. I want us to track this run here to recover the ball. We're going to see as soon as he touches the ball, Tapia, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps for Chingotto to go and recover that ball extremely fast from Chingotto to get into that position, just to put more pressure on towards Tapia to finish this point. Even in this scenario, look at this scenario here. We have Coello onto the net. We've got Tapia into the green zone. We've got Galán outside the court. And we've got Chingotto looking towards the other side of the court, recovering this ball, and the whole court is open. This should be an easy finish by Tapia, and it would be another point. But what makes this insanely incredible is the warrior that is Chingotto not letting this go. And I want you to show something tactically here. As soon as we see Tapia connecting with that ball, I want you to see what Galán and Chingotto do like a dance here. We have Chingotto running for the exit, and at the same time, without even communicating, Galán is running to cover the area within the court. So obviously what Tapia is doing here is another kick smash. So we're anticipating the ball going anywhere, somewhere around this area, and then getting out of the court. So with very, very fast reactions, we can see that Galán is running to cover the inside of the court, and Chingotto is running outside of the court, not even looking at the ball. And just remove the arrow now, just to see at what timing does Chingotto look at the ball, because it's, as you can see here, he's got no sense of where that ball is in the air. And as we go frame by frame, he hasn't turned his eye yet. Now he's just getting out of the court and he's starting to look for the ball. And as we see here, he's just clocked the ball. So now we can remove this, and he's getting ready for a shot. In these scenarios where the ball is out, what he needs to do, and the ruling is that he needs to get the ball into the court or even to the net, and then you win the point. But if it touches the net and then Coello is able to lift the ball up, it's like a glass, so it does count as in a live ball. So even if Coello, if Chingotto touches the floor and the net and then Coello lifts the ball, that's still live. But the point was so long and so ridiculous that Coello couldn't believe that this point was still going. And look at that, it's such an unbelievable shot, and the rest is history.
Our friend Doe from the Netherlands and Chambers from South Africa asking about Galán smashing, and when he does, letting the racket go. Is that legal? How can it be legal? Well, I think the key is where and when you contact the ball and when you let the racket go, right, Sandy?
Exactly, yeah. You need to have the racket in your hand when you contact. Oh, and he just touched it. Go on, Chingotto.
Tapia, por tres.
And Chingotto is here in Rome for the highlight of the day. Fede Chingotto, what a save. Look at the crowd just going crazy. The Foro Italico explodes with Federico Chingotto. The block, the save by Galán, and now the Chingo.
You don't often have Chingotto for the red ball out of court play. But when he does, look at that.
I mean, if that doesn't win.
There you have it, guys. What a point, what a year for Chingotto and Galán, beating Tapia and Coello, and now we're going to be moving into the next P2. We're probably going to be analysing that final again. If it was my predictions, we might have a repeat of this, and we have to wait for another major to see what's going to happen next. What a month for Padel it has been. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment who you are. I love connecting with you guys, so make sure you do that. And if you do want to get in touch with me, you can always drop me an email at yanis.padelmetrics@gmail.com, and I'll reply to all of you. So make sure you connect. And if you are in Bali, always come and visit us here at Bali Padel Academy, where I'll be doing my Knox competition this week coming up on Thursday. So until then, have a good one and see you soon.